I'd like to thank everyone for coming in for the Community Development Committee meeting on Wednesday, November 8th. I am Chris Williams, Councilman Williams, Chair, and in the room we have Councilman Hudson and Councilman Johnson and present. Councilman Jefferson will not be here today. So we'll begin with the first item, which is item 2023-505, consideration of ordinance of demolition for dwelling of 509 Lawndale Avenue. I'll turn the floor over to Lori Loosemore.
Good afternoon. The first property we have at 509 Lawndale, we originally inspected on August 18th of 2022. We held a hearing on September 15th of 2022 that no one appeared for. We issued an order to repair or demolish on September 27th of 2022 with a compliance date of October 27th, 2022. During the process of our case, the owner, Vernon Wilson, passed away. So there was an estate that was left to his son, who's the executor. They did in turn sell the property on the 31st, so just last week, I think it was, last Tuesday or Wednesday. And the new owner did come in today and started applying for a demolition permit, but was going to have to get some additional paperwork for that to be issued. So I did explain the process to him and what we would be doing, and explained as long as he goes through with it, gets it done and everything, then we would repeal the ordinance for demolition. And he was fine with that. And he was aware of the meeting today.
All right, is there any questions for staff from the committee? No? All right. For record's sake, is there anyone to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'll make the motion to approve item 2023-505, demolition of dwelling 509 Lawndale Avenue.
A second.
All right, there's a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. We go on to the next item, consideration of, which is 2023-506, consideration of ordinance of dwelling, demolition of dwelling 409 Denny Street. I get it right at some point. Go ahead.
So this property we originally inspected on June 29th of 2022. We held a hearing on August 22nd of 2022. We were made aware of this, obviously, by the fire department after a fire occurred. We issued an order to repair or demolish with a compliance on September 1st, 2022, with a compliance date of October 3rd, 2022. Originally, we had a list pendants that we recorded on July 13th, 2022, and it was air property. The previous owners advised the inspector after the initial inspection that they had an offer to purchase for the property, and then as they started going through that process of trying to sell the property, they found out that the brother, I think there was 3 siblings, that Scott Savas had used the property for collateral of some sort, and they were not going to be able to sell it, so they just transferred everything over to him on June 1st, 2023. And he was sent notice of this meeting, and I think he did meet the inspector out there to take pictures, and he was aware. We did send him a notice for this meeting today.
All right. Any questions of staff from the committee? All right. For record's sake, is anyone here to speak for or against this item? In that case, I make the motion to approve item 2023-506, consideration of an ordinance to demolish dwelling 409 Denny Street.
I second.
All right. We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Next is item 2023-507, consideration of an ordinance to demolish dwelling 509 Sanders Place.
We originally inspected this property on January 17th of 2023. And I just realized I left something off of here. We held the hearing on February 15th of 2023, which the owner did appear and did have an attorney present, as well as the city having their attorney present. And we discussed the repairs that were needed. An order to repair or demolish was issued on February 22nd, 2023, with the compliance date of March 22nd, 2023. The owners did make an appeal to the Board of Adjustment. That information and decision was all attached in the packet that you were presented. And they stated the order to demolish to remain in effect, but should be modified to allow the applicant until August 1st, 2023 to complete the necessary repairs and to bring the dwelling into compliance with minimum housing code. I meant the order to demolish should also be modified to provide that the repairs to the dwelling, excuse me, be commenced by the applicant or its contractor no later than 30 days after the date of the written decision. The written decision was signed on May 5th, 2023, therefore the 30 days after that would be June 5th, 2023. On June 8th of 2023, the inspector called Mr. Dallas, who advised that he had a contractor to clear weeds and growth on the left side of the building. And he also stated that he plans to have his contractor start fixing the fascia, soffit, missing bricks, and siding. The inspector reminded Mr. Dallas that the contractor would need to pull permits before starting any repairs to the property, and Mr. Dallas stated he would be having a structural engineer look at the house and provide a report to the building inspections office. As of 10/24, at the preparing of this document, no permits have been applied for or issued for the repairs, nor have any repairs been started when the inspector was there taking the pictures on November 2nd.
Thank you. Any questions of staff on this item? All right, for record's sake, is anyone here to speak for or against this item? Seeing none,
You
I'll
want me
make
to-
them,
Okay, so, sorry, I just want to, Megan has had some conversations with Mr. Sanders' attorney, Mr. Dallas's attorney, and we think that that Mr. Dallas is in agreement that he will do demolition of the property, but he is stating he wants a little bit more time because he's going to have it inspected for asbestos and abated and get bids, I guess. So we're going to ask that the ordinance be amended to state that, let's see, I'm just going to read what was sent to me from the city attorney's office. Staff will go forward the committee and council meetings and demolition ordinance, but they are willing to agree not to do anything before January 8th to allow your client to handle it himself. Staff will need to see a signed contract with a demolition order with a demolition vendor by January 8th. That gives your client 60 days to figure everything out as far as the inspections and demolition. And then if the demolition has not happened by that date, then we would need to see that it was at least scheduled. So typically what we'll ask is, do you have a contract with the demolition contractor? Can we see it or verify with them that you do have it, and then we'll work with you. So we're going to ask that the ordinance be changed slightly to state that we will not proceed with demolition before January 8th of 2024.
anyone else want to tackle that out?
So essentially, it would just be the motion to approve the demolition ordinance to not start sooner than January 8th of 2024.
I make the motion as stated by the city attorney.
Second. Sounds good.
Any questions or any? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Thank you. The next item is item 2023-508, consideration of ordinance to rescind a demolition order for the dwelling of 411 West Willis Avenue.
And just for correction, it should be repeal the ordinance.
Okay.
We've been asked to change that language. And the owners did do the demolition themselves on this property after the ordinance was passed. So once this is upheld, we will then file with the courts showing that we didn't have to do any work.
Okay. So with that said, we'll make the motion to repeal ordinance 2023-508, demolition of dwelling 411 West Willis Avenue.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. That motion passes.
And I would just like to tell y'all, all of the inspectors are here that we have employed right now. I had them come because we thought we were going to have a learning session, but we didn't, thank goodness. But these are all the inspectors that work in our section for local codes. So,
Welcome.
Definitely. Thank you.
thank y'all.
Okay. Final item here is item 2023-509, consideration of a 2022 annual action plan, substantial amendment for the Walnut Ridge Apartments. I'll turn the floor over to Nina Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Staff is proposing to amend the 2022 Annual Action Plan to allocate funding in the amount of $650,000 for the Walnut Ridge Apartments. And I just want to clarify, it is 2022, which covers last year. It was actually our plan that was approved for 2022-2023. So we're proposing an amendment for that plan. Walnut Ridge Apartments, it's a new construction project that includes 60 units for seniors, and the complex will also consist of 1 and 2 bedroom units and a landscape courtyard, outdoor privacy area, and lighted landscape pedestrian pathways. The draft 2022 Annual Action Plan Substantial Amendment is currently out for public review and comment for 30 days, and that began on November 3rd, and it will end on December the 4th of 2023. So in the approved 2022 Annual Action Plan, Home Investment Partnership Program funding in the amount of $500,000 was approved for multifamily rental housing development. At that time, a specific project was not identified, and the Walnut Ridge Apartments project was originally proposed as an affordable housing project for families of up to 84 units. However, in response to community concerns, the project was converted to senior housing. So in addition, the original funding request was made for $650,000. And so with the identification of a specific project and to increase the funding amount that was approved in the 2022 plan, that does require a substantial amendment to that plan. There are sufficient funds in our budget to actually accommodate this, and the city's participation will come totally from the home funds. The total project amount is about $12,600,000. And so our $650,000 will be fully funded through Home Investment Partnership Act funds. And so the Community Development Housing Department staff requests that a public hearing be scheduled before City Council on November the 20th. That is in accordance with our citizen participation requirements for a substantial amendment. So at this point, not asking for any action on it, but that the public hearing be set. Are there any questions about the project or anything as far as the process?
Do I hear a motion to approve this item?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the date of November 20th for a public hearing with the council. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all. And could I just give a quick update on 5 Points Operation Inasmuch, just with the numbers that was held on October 28th?
Please.
We don't have anything visual to give you at this point, but there were 15 homes that repairs and maintenance was performed at, and 26 individuals were assisted in those 15 homes, and we had 78 volunteers that actually showed up on that day. And as Councilman Williams mentioned, we did have the privilege of having a couple of former NFL players, so we will have some photos and things when we actually do provide a visual for you. So again, another successful project, and we look forward to the next event in the spring.
Thank you.
All right.
so much.
Thank you.
Like I said, those guys really love that. I'm still getting calls from them. It's like I didn't hear from them for like a month before. Now they're calling me, man, what's next? And what are y'all doing next? So yes, we thank you so much.
Yes, please tell them to reach out.
Oh, they
We
will.
can always, yeah, we
I
can
know
always
they will.
use their help.
They
Thank
will.
you.
All right, thank you. So here we are. This, unless I get some kind of surprise, will be the final Community Development Committee for me as chair. So I didn't plan anything to say, y'all. Just wanted to kind of speak from the heart real quick. First, I want to thank all our partners, as probably too many of them to name, but it's just an example. Family Justice Center, Continuum of Care, Operation Inasmuch, Community Housing Solutions, Greater High Point Food Alliance. Just, it's so many over the years that have helped us work to make High Point a better place for a lot of the times it's underserved communities and building stronger communities for our city. I want to thank them all. I want to thank all my committee colleagues who've been here for the last 4 years and some more that have been of service to the people of High Point. It's appreciated. I can convey that from a lot of citizens who've benefited from the work. And then I'd like to thank staff. I just can't thank y'all enough. You know, you have been a consistent, steady, dependable crew that has shown us, people who don't do this for a living all the time. This job is honestly part-time. Still don't feel that way, but it's that y'all have been there consistently helping us to understand and process things and make good, sound decisions just from the information. And I know your hard work in the background, and you know they tell us that serving on council can be a thankless job. I think it's the other way around. I think y'all don't thank enough. You aren't appreciated enough. But you are, from my point and from these good guys here on the committee, and the public appreciates it. They convey that to us. So I will say I will miss you, but I will still be around. I'm already going to be on a couple of boards that you'll be involved with. And I think that the partnership and the connections that we've built over time will still be beneficial. I promise I'm going to be a lot easier to deal with. You don't have to correct me and fix stuff that I say wrong all the time, but just know that I do appreciate everything that you've done and the opportunity to be of service to the community and the chance and the opportunity to work with y'all. So that's it. Gentlemen, thank you again, and unless someone else has anything else, we'll stand adjourned.
If I may say this, Councilman Williams, it'll be short, but thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
That's it?